All right, everybody, welcome back to the I Am podcast with your host, Joshua Allison. You guys completely blew me away from the first episode that I did and I put out. You guys, all the support that I got, all the people that shared it, tagged, everything, y'all are just amazing. Like, I was not expecting it. So many people messaging me saying, when's the next one, well, here it is. We are back again, and we're about to drop a banger. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had to let this one marinate, sizzle in the pot a little bit. But we're just gonna address really quick a thought I had, and that thought is identity. All right, we're going to talk about a chameleon identity. I didn't even know where this came from, but when I thought of it and when it really just simmered in me, into my thoughts and my spirit and down into my heart and my soul, I really just was like, what is a chameleon identity? And sometimes you go through things so many times in your life, and what happens is it changes who you are based off of your environment. And for all the ones that were here during the first episode, you know what I'm talking about when I started to intro your environment and how it can dictate who you are. But we also have to understand a chameleon, right? A chameleon, if it's on this chair, it turns white. If it's on a plant, it turns green. Anything that it is in, anything that it's on, it then becomes that thing. And too many times I've seen a pattern in our lives that we take on the identity of a chameleon. And you're probably thinking, Josh, what are you talking about? Aren't you supposed to change? Aren't you telling me, Josh, not to grow in life? And we know what we're here for. We're here to grow because that's who we are. I am. That is what this podcast is really about, is who are you? I am. I am what? Who are you? So we're going to address today the chameleon identity, and we're going to be nice, short, and sweet. So the chameleon identity, when you go through something, when you're in an environment, you should not change to suit your environment. So I'm going to say that again. You listening, you should not take on, no matter what environment you are in, you should not take on the identity of that environment. Some people talk about, man, I'm code switching. Those who knows what code switching is, I'm talking to you. So you go and you're on a job and you code switch and you change your whole identity for that job. But we got to get to the point where we are so real and authentic to ourselves that our environment changes to who we are. So I'm gonna let that simmer real quick, all right? Because really, when everything boils down to, we're talking about growth here. So I always come up with these analogies in my head because I'm a very visual person. So this analogy that I had was an analogy of a butterfly. And we all know what a butterfly starts off as, is a caterpillar. Just put that in the comments. Just say it out loud in the atmosphere, a caterpillar. And we often beautify the butterfly, but we often cringe at the caterpillar. I know a lot of people who are scared of bugs. If they see a caterpillar, they're going to run. But a butterfly, we take pictures of a butterfly, how beautiful that butterfly is. And a lot of times I'm realizing that process that caterpillar had to go through in order to be the butterfly had to be a very uncomfortable process. And it had to accept, if I want to be a butterfly, I must go through some uncomfortable changes in my life. And those changes did not change the caterpillar. It didn't. Because a lot of times we would think, well, the butterfly and the caterpillar are two different things. But how I look at it is the butterfly cannot be a caterpillar, and a caterpillar cannot be a butterfly. And when you look at that and really dissect it, and you look at the process that caterpillar must go through. It must go through the cocoon process. That cocoon process sometimes can feel very tight. Sometimes that cocoon process, and I'll take the day right now to go up Google. Everybody has a phone, everybody has a computer. Go really search up the cocoon process. I'm no scientist, I'm no biologist, but I just think of when I get really cold, when it gets freezing in my room, I wrap myself up with the blankets almost like as a cocoon, because I'm finding comfort in that. So such an uncomfortable environment, such an uncomfortable moment in time, sometimes you need to find that warmth in your cocoon. So at this point, find what your cocoon is. What is your process that you're running away from? What is the process that you're running to make you into the butterfly you're supposed to be? Because the butterfly is inside the caterpillar. Everything that the butterfly is to be, it's in that thing that's crawling on the ground. So we want to fly so much that we're not willing to crawl. We want to fly so much that we're not willing to sit in the cocoon. It's not just you go into the cocoon and in 5 seconds you just pop out as a butterfly. Sometimes it takes a waiting. Sometimes it takes a process. And are you willing to go through that process? And you're probably saying, Josh, why are we talking about butterflies and caterpillars? And you just brought up, what's all these insects? You just said chameleon identity, and now you're bringing up butterflies and caterpillars. But in order to grow, and in order to know who you are, to not change to your environment, you need to go through the process to become who you are. To become from that caterpillar to that butterfly, you must go through that process. And then when you become that butterfly, you don't need to change to your environment. You need to stand out. I've seen some beautiful, mesmerizing butterflies. And the thing that is so captivating about them, is their color and their patterns and their designs. And you were designed, something in you, but you cannot forget, this is all starting from a caterpillar. You are uniquely designed. When you go through that process and it starts to unlock and pull things out of you and draw things out of you and pattern things in your life that now shapes who you are, how you act, how you think, how you respond, how you treat other people, how you treat yourself, you start to become mesmerizing. You start to become captivating. You start to become who you really are supposed to be. And that's a butterfly. And once you find that, don't let any environment dictate who you are supposed to be. Don't let anyone dictate who you are supposed to be. We know we must grow. We know we must be better. Every morning I wake up, I say to myself, I look myself in the mirror and say, I am trying to be a better version of myself than I was the day before. But in this moment, as we're wrapping up, remember that a chameleon identity is not what we are going to take on. We are going to go through the process of becoming a butterfly. We are going to unlock everything that is in us. If that's through meditation, if that's through going to the gym, if that's just peace and stillness and quiet and cutting out all the external noises. Sometimes that's what we need to do. Sometimes what is your cocoon? What is your cocoon that you need to go through? You find that, embrace that. Don't run from it. And I promise you, it won't be too long until you yourself becomes a butterfly. So again, y'all, I appreciate y'all for watching, listening, tuning in via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any platform that I use, YouTube, anything, just go ahead right now, like, comment. I want to hear your guys' experience. I want to hear your guys' process. DM me. I want to know that we are in this together, because I know I'm not by myself, and neither are you. So don't let your environment dictate who you are. You dictate your environment.